Welcome back to Week 8 of the HGC. Our first series of the day has already kicked off and we are underway. Right now, Fnatic is up 2-0 over Granit Gaming. I think an expected result is probably one of the best ways to describe that right now as we're moving into Game 3 as Fnatic has continued to ramp up in skill and teamwork, and they are looking pretty darn good against Granit Gaming. However, Granit in game number 2, able to hang in there, moved into the mid-game, had a big late-game fight they had to take, or at least went into a fight with as they were trying to move towards level 20 and fell victim to them.
Definitely true, and to an extent I still have to question, why do you give your opponent 3 of the best heroes that we currently have? I mean, we talked about this composition being so dominant. It was 6-0 before this game. Now we have 7 wins and 0 losses with that Deckard, Urel and Diablo setup. But Granit Gaming at least made it look close and they played well here. But for me personally, I'm just happy to see that Fnatic is back in that role where a lot of people wanted them to be, where a lot of people expected them to be going into phase number 2. They really have to, they seem to have found their stride.
Yeah.
Now granted, they go up against opponents like Method still, Team Liquid as well, and they really have to prove themselves there. But this looks they look more like a cohesive unit that you would expect them to be than what we've seen in part 1 of phase 2. So I'm pretty happy with that development on their end. Granit Gaming is still showing signs of life, so they might be able to start and come back into this. But from here on out, it is going to be tough since you have to win 3 in a row if you want to turn this around.
That's right. Well, we're getting ready for Battleground number 3, and where exactly will we be going? That is the question. And the answer is here. We are going to Towers of Doom. Fnatic with the choice. Granit Gaming will be having first pick. I think one of the great things about Fnatic here in part 2 of phase 2 has been that they have been able to close out series. Remember, they had that 5-game series against Leftovers.
Yeah.
The only major series where they felt like they weren't fully on point with was against Dignitas, but nobody is doing great against Dignitas right now as they continue to shut you down, and yet still they were able to get 1 win. So it looks like the work is finally starting to pay off, which is what we've been asking for a lot of our teams. I mean, even Roll20 stepping up now with their latest victory. These are things that we need towards the end of the season, and Fnatic is finally getting there.
Yeah. The Towers of Doom is an interesting one though, because Fnatic has played 3 times in Towers of Doom and they lost 2 out of those 3 games. Seems to be a map where they just say, okay, we still feel confident there, we have maybe a new strategy, something that worked out in scrims for us, or they just say, okay, this is now the team where we can try and to improve that track record a little bit and also practice in an HGC setup a few of the things we want to use against other teams as well. Be it as it may, it's not the best map for Granit Gaming either. They have 2 wins and a loss here. But yeah, let's jump right into it and see who's going to grab especially their global again, because there's a very good chance that we're going to see either Abathur or Dehaka show up on this map.
Yeah, expecting more Sergeant Hammer bans from Fnatic. Could see that out of their ban. However, they are willing to move out there themselves. Don't forget the first couple of times that we saw them play with Valir, it was usually paired with an Abathur.
Not only them, Valir was actually played by both of the teams on the Battleground.
That's actually true. The triple stealth for Granit Gaming. Oof. What was that, week 2?
Yeah,
Still
2, 3, very early.
Speaking of Zeratul, Fnatic stays away from it. Banned out. That character's ability to just win a team fight based on proper placement is too hard to match. So Fnatic stays away from it.
Okay, Maiev is banned out again. So all the heroes that are really good at forcing engagers with Zeratul and Maiev are banned out for now, at least a few of them. And let's see what Fnatic is going to try and take rid of. I'm also interested in the first pick of Granit, to be honest. Okay, there's the Abathur ban. Dehaka is all of a sudden a very good option for Granit Gaming early on if they want to play around the global again. Would allow Fnatic to go into a setup with Diablo as a first. Yeah, there's the Dehaka. Urel, Deckard, Kayn, Diablo, Hanzo even. All heroes that we could expect now.
It's gotta be Urel Deckard, right? Although I prefer Diablo Deckard. It's just knowing the hero pool of Last Hope and when he likes to play with Battleground. He goes into Urel when he can. He does have a Malthael available for him too.
There's also Blaze.
Yeah, he's definitely on Blaze too.
Blaze, Leoric, so there's a few that he can definitely play. But why not pick Urel in the setup?
There it is. Murden Urel, actually.
Murden a little bit more flexible to create opportunities with a jump into a stun. That helps him out here. Don't have to play around Diablo in this case, but still locking in Urel for themselves is great. Again, Urel is by far the most successful hero in HGC Europe. Urel has a 66% win rate with more than 100 games played. That is absolutely insane for
bonkers.
66% is out of this world. The next successful hero is Diablo with a 58% win rate, and Diablo has only been played 60 times. So not quite half the amount of games that we've seen with Urel, but it's roughly in that area. So yeah, Urel is just fantastic.
She's pretty darn good. The pairing with tanks just allows her to excel with teammates and teamwork. I'm waiting on this ban here. What exactly do you want to take away here, Granit Gaming? Probably damage. It's going to be a Genji ban.
I just want to clarify also something. There's a couple of heroes that also have great win rates, but they don't have the sample size.
Yeah, the games was so ridiculous. 100
so,
games?
Exactly. Like, for example, if you look at, I mean, just to throw a random one in here, Jaina. 10 wins, 5 losses, keeps at 67%, but that's 15 games. Compared to the 100 that were played with Urel, there's a huge difference here in significance. So yeah, therefore, that's one of the reasons why Urel is so far at the top. With 100 games, that track record is great. But talking Jaina, there she is together with Ana. That was absolutely intentional, by the way. I totally saw that coming.
Well played, dude. You're a prophet.
Yeah.
Ana was played twice last week by Fnatic, actually. Mixing with Li Ming once. What was the second mage they mixed with? Never mind.
No clue on the top of my head.
Well, regardless, the idea is that you pick it up with the mage, you get that cooldown reduction coming in there, and you start shelling away. And Jaina with the machine gun build,
they got 1 win and a loss with her, so they are on a 1-1 track record with Ana right now.
What was it? I'm gonna look now.
Uther taken. So Hanzo together with Uther now definitely helps you to also mitigate some of that burst damage that comes out of Jaina herself, especially when Ana boosted here. So that's one way how you can deal with that. Fnatic, they still need that top laner. Blaze is an option for that.
It was
oh, my apologies. They had Urel, of course, already. Sorry, I mixed it up. Li Ming both times?
It's Li Ming both times, 1-1. You were right.
Junkrat again. Junkrat is played so much. Junkrat was played every single time in this series. And we had Junkrat also played basically every time in the series with Method versus the Monkeys. Same thing, to an extent where we even start seeing Junkrat bans here. So he definitely made his way back into all of this. And Junkrat right now, just looking at it, has been played 32 times, 33 times in Europe, 48% win rate. So it's getting up there. Always considering that Junkrat just recently started to see that much play, so it's really been ramping up. Like, his numbers are, in terms of quantity, not quite there yet, but you have to consider that Urel was played throughout the entire phase 2, whereas Junkrat just came in towards the second part a little bit more. And right now, he's really making appearances in nearly every second draft.
He's self-sufficient and volatile, right? You don't have any mana, so you're able to keep up with the wave consistently throughout the entire game. And then you have the ability to find picks randomly. I mean, that's a great pickup based on placements when it comes to your mind. So
I mean, there's a lot of Genji bans that are still happening. So you have a lot of mobility manned out. Maiev is oftentimes not really a part, so that makes him a bit safer. But yeah, Junkrat is a staple in the meta once again.
And we go on the left side. Wolf Joe on Uther, Raid Boss playing Raynor, Memecraft on Hanzo, Nande on Garrosh, and Darkmok on Dehaka.
Granit Gaming is 0-2 in this best of 5, and Fnatic starting here towards the right side. They have the lead with Mena in game 3 on Jaina the Frost Mage, Breeze on the Dwarf, Muradin is really going to kick some ass. Shrimpy, of course, on Junkrat this time. Smexy therefore finds himself on Ana, and we have Last Hope on Urel. And again, the hero pool overlap between Mena and Shrimpy really allows them in these situations to just flex things up a little bit. Now they are switching Junkrat over to Shrimpy. They have Mena instead on Jaina. He's just a bit stronger with that hero. And that allows them for a lot of flexibility.
And Nande gets deleted. Two things I want to talk about here. Let's make sure that Breeze is able to get out. He does get away. First things is the Storm Bolt into a Sleep Dart, consistently popping here for Fnatic. This is one of the things they showed off last week, and they are fantastic at getting that quest done quickly. Secondly, we had Garrosh actually tossed in the team fight of Fnatic, and you saw Breeze step up. If you ever have a Garrosh put out of position or is close to your support and you're a main tank, it is your duty to lay your body on fire, run towards that Garrosh, and allow for you to be tossed in. And that allowed for Fnatic to turn that around and take out Nande instead.
Ana was under a lot of pressure there.
Yeah.
If not for Breeze, that could have been a kill for Granit Gaming. But with him stepping up and just denying that Ana could walk away, and they could turn the entire fight around. And you talked about the Stormbolt into the Sleep Dart and then the Jaina damage. It's a great combo. And oftentimes it's even offset, or it's even set up by a... Yeah, exactly that. A grenade from Mene, but this time it's not enough to save Last Hope. So it was a really cool attempt for Fnatic. Get the concussion grenade in there too. Oftentimes that's used to set up a kill for them. In this case, it was more of a defensive tool. It didn't quite work out though, since Granit Gaming was able to secure that kill.
Still, time was bought. A 5-man rotation in the middle, allowed for Fnatic to get the Sapper camp pushed in on the bottom lane. They're going to set up here and allow for Euro to respawn. Also get Jaina nice and tapped up when it comes to mana.
And you might also, since Ana doesn't really get too much played in HGC, wonder about the quest talent here on level 1 for her. It's the piercing darts, and you have 2 quest tiers. On the first one, after 10 hits, it's all about hitting 2 heroes and the range increase that you get. And then on level 20, you have now basically the same situation where, again, your range gets increased. So it's all about trying to be a little bit safer, staying farther in the background, hitting more heroes with your abilities. So this is why early on you're trying to ramp up as many of these stacks as you possibly can to at least get yourself to level 6.
I like to imagine when I pick up that talent that I'm like actually a sniper, and that every shot that I get all the way to level 10, it's just increasing my experience, you know, getting sharper, getting better. It allows you to roleplay a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
You don't ever roleplay?
I've seen your abilities to snipe stuff and to be precise with these things, so
yeah,
I can totally...
Because I'm learning every game.
Yeah.
And when I finish the quest, I feel empowered to get that ding. It's all about the dings.
You get the ding, yeah.
Seriously, man, that sound is...
Well, he got 2 dings so far.
Wow, working on it. Just needs a few more, 8 more.
I mean, if he can get another ding, then he's going to be a 3.
Boom. That's all you need, man. Sound effects, and your gameplay is going up. Wolfjo goes in and gets an altar. There's one. Top left is being
That was an
disrupted.
important one, actually, because that means that Granit Gaming is now very likely to get 2 of the altars here. I mean, Shrimpy can still interrupt a bit, but the rotation is going to hit the top lane soon. So that's the exchange, 1 for 1, and it's all about the top left now. And yeah, Fnatic in the long run is going to lose this one.
Well, if Garrosh wants to rotate. Garrosh stayed bottom. Yeah, they're going to get it up. You're right. So 4 points awarded to Fnatic. Granit Gaming will get 8 as they grab 2 altars.
It's just a position that you really don't want to go into. So Fnatic is going to let this one go. Or they did. The one to fight for was really the one at the bot lane if they wanted it. But now it comes back to rotations and trying to get these opportunities, especially with the kill potential that you have through this placement. And that's true for both teams. Either through Garrosh on the side of Granit Gaming or Junkrat on Fnatic's side.
Now they're thinking about maybe moving in here on the Sapper camp. You have to be careful though, with traps around, Merging able to hop around when the Stormbolts, you don't really want to force too many issues. Just looking for a couple ground breakers if anything.
Yeah, you also don't want to brawl too much right now if you're Granit Gaming. You want to give Fnatic too many opportunities to get more dings on Muradin and on Ana. Both of them are currently stacking. Muradin finds himself on 10, and we are seeing Smexy on 2 stacks. And there's also, of course, then also we consider Jaina and the damage output that Mena wants to get in here to get his own ice block.
Yeah, currently sitting at what, 900?
Yeah, so any
so far,
which is really nothing. In that sense, if you want to, if you are able to get that early completion on that quest talent, that would be really not a good thing for Granit Gaming in the long run. So you're trying to not give Fnatic too many needless opportunities to brawl here.
Fnatic is trying to give me a heart attack here, man. That's 3 times in a row now they've thrown Garrosh into their team. And I know they're trying to get him locked down, poke him as he tries to retreat, but that's something you gotta be careful with. At any moment, if Garrosh gets thrown in an incorrect way, you can drop that Indomitable, turn around, and toss any target in. Oof. No, thank you.
Yeah, at the same time, Smexy is really very careful with the positioning here. You talk a lot about Garrosh being thrown in here, and of course, if he finds himself close to Ana, he's gonna try and put her into a bad spot. But so far, Smexy is actually doing really well with the positioning. Got the 3rd stack now, he's trying to get a few more. It's not easy for him by any means, but Fnatic is already slightly ahead in experience. With Last Hope going into the Divine Steed on 7, he's double soaking the lanes now against the Haka.
Hero rotating down, I'm gonna try and at least get one of these altars. Wolfjo will get the bottom one, second one being grabbed by Junkrat, and Fnatic should be able to get it. Raidboss thinking about coming up here and getting that auto attack in. Ooh, Last Hope with the last second knockback.
Yeah, but he might actually fall, and yep, he does. Next kill for Granit Gaming. Now, it was still a worthy trade in the sense that they get the altar out of it, so it's a 1-for-1 here. But Fnatic is very hesitant to fight too much too. They are really in a spot where they're saying like, yeah, we would really love to have our level 10 first before we go into any big fights. Just as that we have the nano boost ready, and so that we're getting the most out of Jaina's damage.
It's also where the builds start to come online too, for
Yeah.
both Junkrat and Jaina. Q build coming on for both of them actually, being able to shell away on the damage, poke from afar. Jaina will be able to really knock out that damage too with that nano boost coming online.
5 stacks by now on Ana. 10 around the corner here. Granit with 32 points on their core against the 28. And the quest completed on Uthas is level 1. And there we have it. All right, heroic abilities. So that's really where a lot of the synergy for Granit Gaming also comes into play. The Hanzo arrow coming out, the isolation that you have. Would still expect Divine Shield over Divine Storm for Uther, simply because it can negate a lot of the damage potential and heal potential that Fnatic has with the nano boosted Jaina. So I would be very tempted to go into the Divine Shield here. But if they want to get a good CC chain going, I mean, there's an argument to be made for Divine Storm. I just really think it's not quite what they need here.
Their idea is they want to delete one target after a Garrosh throw and just completely lock them down with a taunt into a stun, benediction stun into a Divine Storm. Definitely can go that route, but it's a Hail Mary. That is for sure. Fnatic setting up for defense here on the bottom while Sappers head straight in to this bell tower. A couple go forward, but the altar's now to the top left and top right. Need to be grabbed for our team, so I should see them rotate soon. Schwimby comes over, looks for an opportunity to maybe get a mine, but nothing presents itself.
And Divine Shield has been taken by Uther as expected. Also, same goes for Jaina. She went straight into the Ring of Frost, which is the go-to talent in Europe still. Especially Mene absolutely enjoys to play around with Ring and trying to get these one-shots. And that's when Uther is really going to be crucial. He needs to be the one there in time, drop the Divine Shield, and so it could be a cooldown trade. And talking about trades, we have again Altos traded here, 28 against 24 points on the core. The teams are even in experience. Smexy has by now 7 stacks on his piercing darts on level 1. He's 3 away from getting the first reward here. Breeze is sitting at 19 for the Storm Bolt, so he's missing another 6 before he gets the cooldown reduction on his auto attacks and the Pierce. And both of the teams really playing a bit more of a calmer and just simply focused game than we saw in the previous two, where we had a lot more brawling happening.
Yeah. Shouldn't see anything too explosive until that pre-altar phase, which will be coming in 2 more phases, if I remember correctly. We'll have 1 here on the bottom, and then afterwards we'll have the 3-altar phase, which then we'll see a commitment to a team fight. But really, if you look over to Fnatic, where does that commitment come from? Is it Yrel, Murden most likely going to be the one to force a fight, but he has to dive into a CC train that is available? I mean, look at Granit Gaming. You have Tahaka, Garrosh, you have a Dragon's Arrow, you have the stuns from Uther. There's a lot that can allow for them to delete anyone that may overstep.
I mean, there was even a chance for Breeze now to go for Garrosh, since Nanda popped the Indomitable a bit early, and I was expecting a Storm Ball there. There's another one coming out, which puts Breeze onto 21, so once he completes that talent, he is going to be so much more difficult here. 13 alone is going to be a great power spike for Fnatic, where healing static is going to give Muradin so much more wiggle room. Isolation coming out, but this should be... Oh, that drag was perfect! Great player by Nanda. It would have been easy defense here for Yrel, but that drag changed everything. Now the Divine Shield comes out to keep Raid Boss alive. Breeze is not following that up. Fnatic down 1 hero. Great play by Granit Gaming, and Last Hope just a bit too hesitant to pop his heroic.
Yeah, even with the arrow coming in too, he just couldn't see the arrow coming, so he couldn't drop the Ardent Defender on time, and you mentioned that Drak coming out too. It was too late, as he will fall, and Fnatic, even though they try to answer back and burn some heroics, were not able to get a kill themselves. And now we have Granit Gaming with a lead, 28-20 against Fnatic, and a slight experience lead as they hit 13 first.
Yeah, and the problem for Last Hope is really that the Ardent Defender is just such a cooldown heavy heroic ability. You really only want to use it when you know you're getting value out of it, but of course your opponent is waiting for it too and is trying to interrupt you there in time, and that's what happened. Again, the fight happening here. Nice, actually. Fnatic stealing the camp, defending their own, and now they're going in, and Dartmoor goes down. The Nana boost doing work here, as we are seeing Fnatic going for the kills. They already dropped the first one. They go for Nanda, and Garrosh dies a horrible death at the hands of Yrel here. Payback time.
Death by Thrall, death by Yrel. Life's not looking good for Garrosh, man. Gonna have another 15 seconds before we have members of Granit Gaming back, meaning there's only 3 here for defense, and Fnatic is hoping to open up the map. They'll take the turret to the south and get a couple of these sappers in. 1, 2, maybe 3? Yes, they get all 3 in. That puts the altar down to half health. Meanwhile, Yrel soaking experience, while Fnatic takes a slight lead.
Yeah, not only a slight lead, Fnatic all of a sudden has a massive amount of momentum that they're trying to bring into the game here. And that makes things scary. This is one of those battlegrounds where you can drop a lot in the early game and simply through dominance in late game team fights start to turn everything around by establishing map control, gaining some of those bell towers, and then taking it from there. And that is what Fnatic is currently trying to do here. Smexy again with his sleep darts. He's at this point sitting at 10, so he just got the first reward, so he's now a bit safer in the back, has the extended range.
There's 2 heroes as well.
Oh, look at Urel at the top lane.
Yeah, she's got a bell tower with those sabers that you got earlier. Big blow up coming out on Garrosh, and Domino allows for him to retreat, but Wolfjo does not use the Divine Shield, so he's low. Immediate pickup on top of this bell tower / altar.
And the arrow missed. The arrow was actually not too bad, but it was sidestepped by Fnatic, and that's a massive problem now. That's a lot of cooldowns that already got burned, and Fnatic is now in a position where they can make their play. Altars are getting exchanged. That's a 5 versus 3 shot trade in favor of Fnatic, putting Granit Gaming down to 23. And we have another one still in play. The drag connects again, but here comes Urel jumping in deep, providing the extra armor. Riptide comes out, gets the damage in, and there's the kill. Hanzo is down.
Ring of Frost connected, and afterwards we have the damage come out from Manny. He also gets the Ice Block too, and he is kiting on top of Raynor, putting more and more out as Uther is trying to provide heals to Raid Boss, but it's just not enough as he'll get picked. Urel hopping around on the backside too underneath that bell tower. A total of 3 picked up as Fnatic grabs a few more shots, and they are actually only 1 point behind Granit Gaming, as Granit Gaming has a score of 18 and Fnatic has 17.
Yeah, and they're all of a sudden immediately in the mid lane. They already took that bell tower top side, which is exactly why they got so many points off the Granit Gaming score. That was 10 points in that altar phase, and now they're grabbing another bell tower easily. Urel is trying to defend the top lane. That's where the Haka is attempting to at least recover one of the bell towers, but the bottom has now been taken too. This is Fnatic controlling the entire map and starting the barrage.
Finally, Granit Gaming takes back to the bell tower on the top left, but it's definitely hurting here, and they'll slow down the damage. 17 to 16 in favor of Fnatic now, but Granit Gaming is just trying to stop the bleeding. They are quite hurt by Fnatic. Fnatic is bringing the pain. Another mine hits Nande, pulling him underneath the bell tower. Well, finally, Raynor gets here to start putting some damage there. Map
control is so essential here, and this is again what Fnatic is looking for. They gave up a few objectives in the early game, waited for their power spike, and now they're just dropping the pain. Mane completed his own quest as well. Not even talking about the level 1 here, his Fingers of Frost. Instead, it's the Frostbite that's really the important part. Getting that ice block is so powerful in the team fights. We just saw it before, how he survived against Jimmy just because of that. So right now, with a nano boost from Ana as well, the damage output of Mane is just absolutely there. The burst damage making it really difficult for Granit Gaming to survive through a team fight. The Divine Shield is just simply not enough.
Yeah. It's only 1 target, and the area effect damage here for Fnatic is huge between Jaina and Junkrat. Even Murden working in some here too. Boss was a quick focus here for Fnatic as they look to make sure no one's grabbing him there, but with Dahaka actually on the side, he was scouting it out. He gets caught. He gets thrown out by Nande, so Darkmonk may be able to survive. And we actually had Wolfjo, I think, grab the shot from the bottom.
Just as Dahaka thinks he's safe, Breathe jumps in and goes straight for it. Good stun against Shrimpy here. Riptide interrupted, but down goes Uther. And just as Granit Gaming was trying to come back into this with a bit more map control and reclaiming bell towers, Fnatic is putting an immediate stop to that thought process. Goes in, gets the double kill, moves on to the boss. Fnatic just dominant today.
Granit Gaming just needs to give this boss take a few more shots at the core. It'll put him down to 6, but they're still alive. And you get this bell tower back. Immediately, they'll jump straight on top of that bell tower. They actually have Garrosh in a position where he can try and grab Shwimpy, but Shwimpy's playing it safe, playing it slow, making sure not to get caught out. And 4 more shots go over to Fnatic. Granit Gaming was not able to get that bell tower back, and Fnatic is here for defense.
It's a level lead. It's 6 points on the core for Granit Gaming and 17 for Fnatic. They are looking absolutely fantastic here, and Granit Gaming is struggling to get a foothold in this game.
Where does that foothold come? Do they just go for an all-in Hail Mary play around the altar here? They can't even get their bell tower back.
I mean, they kind of have to, right?
Yeah.
Because the problem is, if they don't win a team fight, how will they ever come back into this? They need to gain map control, and the only way you do that is by dropping a few of your opponent's heroes to play around the death timers. It's the only thing they can really do, and for that, they need to engage. The Hanzo arrows has to connect, and then the Haka and Garrosh have to step up. It's around the arrow, really, that they can make that play, but if that's getting negated, then they're in trouble.
Fnatic preps his lane 2 to add additional pressure. They'll have sappers pushing in on the bottom lane. Granit Gaming has been able to push up. You have Raid Boss in the bush to this left side, but as Bree steps up, he has to back away. Dahaka is going to be pivotal for Granit Gaming here. Has to come in at the right time and pincer maneuver with Nande.
Yeah, here's the moment now. Granit Gaming, Fnatic is on 19, Granit Gaming on 18. This is the time when you have to make your play. Nande, on the other hand, gets the Divine Shield. Arrow came out too. There's just too much happening here, but the damage output of Fnatic is absolutely crazy. Mainly with the nano boost is going in, and the reduction on the cooldown is also doing work. Darkmog nearly dropping, barely getting out. Saved by Nande as Fnatic is resetting.
Fnatic resets. Ana provides the heals. Uther using some important cooldowns to keep his team popped up too.
And also, the Mercenaries are still pushing through the bot lane.
Yeah, they're going through.
Granit Gaming could not react to it, and that's another 2 shots fired here. Down to 3. This could be game if that altar is won by Fnatic.
Darkmog steps up. He'll have a tongue available, but do they have the damage? Nande gets blown up. Raid Boss is going to be next here too. Breeze even getting the interrupt on top of Uther. Raid Boss able to get a heal at the last second, but only 3 stand for Granit Gaming as Fnatic is pushing forward for a win.
Fnatic is going for the kills here. Arena goes down, they're going for Wolf Joe, and that's going to be the end of Uther. He dies, quick B-step, and immediately the move towards the final altar of the game as Fnatic is securing themselves a big win here on Playday 8 of HGC Europe. A 3-0 victory over Granit Gaming.
An expected and needed victory for Fnatic today. Remember, they have a double-header weekend, so them getting a 3 over Granit Gaming is huge. Now they can take their eyes and focus on the match on Sunday, but still, Fnatic coming out in our first series of Week 8 and delivering.
Expected? Yes, to an extent. Because, again, with Fnatic, it was always a question, can they just close out a very clean series? And I think that's the one thing about their play that I want to highlight the most today. It was a very clean series. Very controlled, at times on a map like Towers of Doom, willing to give up objectives in the early game, just playing towards the later stages of the game. The 2 other maps were very dominant, especially the first one. So Fnatic playing a great series today, securing a 3-0, not even dropping a single map. That was important for them. Map record also matters a lot, especially the situation that they find themselves in, where they want to have a good playoff spot and potentially even contest the number 2. But yeah, great game by them. Granit Gaming with some signs of life, but just not enough to contest Fnatic today.
Yeah, today it was a big display of map objectives and controlling them, and then of course trying to push that all the way towards the end of the map and winning. We've been seeing a lot of compositions from Fnatic that have been very coordination-based. They get a couple of kills, and that's how they can move forward through the map. But here, especially on Cursed Hollow, they show that you can slow down the objectives, force the issue if your opponent has a lead in certain areas, and execute. And that was a big change-up for them and something that we needed to see.
Also, a hero that we have to highlight that plays more and more of a role is Ana. Ana definitely played a little bit more. Fnatic now for the 3rd time with her, so really starting to make a bit of a splash in the meta with all the mobility heroes banned out oftentimes and a lot of the engage missing on the other side. Fnatic is willing to commit to a hero that has struggled in the past with the lack of self-heal and escape tools that she just doesn't really have like other supports. So in this particular setup, Ana really working out. Smexy with good positioning, trying to stay as safe as he possibly can, and setting up the plays for the rest of the team. And especially emphasizing the affinity that Mena has for Majors, making it so much better for him to get burst damage in and get a quick kill.
I like that you point out that Smexy has been delivering when it comes to positioning on Ana. It feels like when you play Ana, that's the first thing you should prioritize, your positioning. Afterwards should be the skill shots, and he is always in a safe position and always there to help out his teammates. Whenever they do decide they want to focus on a target, having that grenade preventing any healing has allowed for them to have multiple kills. I mean, you saw it there against Garrosh. Garrosh, a hero that typically wants to find that angle, he sneaks on through, finally tosses someone into his team, and Nande, a good tank player, was just struggling against that.
Yeah, it was a very cool setup here, especially with that damage output that comes through Jaina with a nano boost. You could see oftentimes how Nande would try and go in, and then all of a sudden he eats the entire combo. Uther throws out the Divine Shield, and then he's still running. He's still like, yeah, we can't even engage into that. There's just too much damage coming. So it was a really cool setup from Fnatic. They played that now a couple of times. I'm sure other teams will pick that up soon. But Fnatic definitely looking much cleaner than they did
Yeah.
at the beginning. There's still a few moments where you think, okay, could Last Hope maybe have tried to play a bit more around the Ardent Defender? Was it a situation where you want to hold the Heroic because the death timers are still so low, you don't want to waste a 2-minute Heroic for that? But in general, the progress is visible.
Let's actually talk to Schwimpy about the progress of Fnatic. Actually, he is here for the interview as they get a big 3-0 over Granit Gaming. Schwimpy, congratulations on your big win today, and we're going to come out asking you about that cohesiveness that Caldor and I were just talking about. Was it a major plan for you guys to come out against Granit Gaming and really show off this macro play that you guys are continuing to play through map objectives and really just shut them down?
Honestly, we didn't really have a plan going into Granite.
Thank you, Schwimpy.
I guess we disrespect them a little bit.
Mm.
So no plan.
So today
Yeah.
was a win that you expected, and this allows for you to focus on your match for Sunday?
Yeah, I think we prepared way more for Method, and like our scrims has been preparing for Method all week because we expected to win versus Granite. Looks good so far. The week is going as planned.
Yeah, you're right. You landed a nice 3-0 today. So congratulations. I'm going to send you over to Caldor.
I want to follow up a little bit on that no plan. So you're going into a weekend where you have 2 matches. You identify that one of those games is more important for you. You just said you are preparing more for Method than for Granite since you expect the win against Granite anyways. What does it actually mean? Do you guys still look at their recent games and have a bit of an idea, okay, what do they want in draft and talk about your own draft? Or do you just draft for yourselves to secure that you get a powerful composition and you don't really care about what they do on their end?
So basically, we just look through their drafts on former HGC matches real fast, and we note if there's anything really scary, like the Sarah tool. We banned it last map because they won versus Dignitas overall, and they have shown good results with Sarah tool, and it's a scary hero. So like, that's the only preparation we did, kind of, and I think it's enough for us versus Granite.
When you're looking at the standings right now, what's the goal for you guys? Are you still hoping for Team Liquid to maybe have problems, lose a few games so that you guys can go into that number 2 spot? Or is at that moment the main objective just to establish a really good position in the standings so that you have a good playoff game?
So like, it's not really up to us, as you said, and Liquid has to kind of make mistakes to for us to make it top 2. And sure, we hope for it with less RNG, but honestly, we just want to win every match we have left, and it will take us as far as it will take us, and then we will go from there.
Do you still feel a continuous improvement? You've been talking about this a bit last week, but today you guys went up against an opponent that I guess you were expected to defeat, but at the same time you looked very clean doing it. Is there still a continuous improvement, or you have occasionally games where you afterwards say, yeah, we might have won that, but we still made up a few of the mistakes that we were trying to eliminate?
Sure, we still have a lot of mistakes, and we improve every day we scrim. That's the goal, and that's what we're doing. But I think the biggest improvement, like in this series particularly, is that we were very confident and calm. Nobody got stressed. Comms were clean, and there wasn't any pressure like it was before, and we're just playing with confidence now instead of fear. And I think that's the biggest improvement that I noticed from this series.
Sounds awesome. Congratulations to the victory, and I can't wait to see you guys on Sunday.
Looking forward to Sunday, but Schwimpy, I want to put you on the spot here. Let's pretend there are no standings whatsoever. Who would be the best 3 teams in Europe right now to represent Europe at BlizzCon?
Dignitas number 1, for sure. I think we're like in scrims and there's no standings. Yeah, we're the second team, I would say. And then I don't know, like I actually don't know the third.
Team Liquid?
From scrim results and stuff, I'm not so sure.
Okay.
I think Leftovers or Liquid, I'm not sure.
Okay, so between Team Liquid and Leftovers, you would say? For third?
Yeah,
okay.
I would say so.
Awesome. Just wanted to get a pulse from you. Always good to hear your thoughts. I'm going to go ahead and let you go so you can prepare for your match on Sunday. We look forward to that one, so make sure you come out and deliver. But before I let you go, shout out to yours, man.
Shout out to Monster Energy, as always. They're keeping me very energetic in our HGC matches.
We can tell.
As you can see, you 3-0 every time, whenever I drink one. And